This is Root Literacy Design, where we share stories, tips, and tools from current educators successfully implementing the science of reading and structured literacy. I'm Heather Ballantyne, the founder and CVO, and a current literacy coach. Please take a moment to like our channel and subscribe so we can keep helping other educators like you.
Hi, my name is Nikki Gardner, and I've been a classroom teacher for 20 years in 5th and 6th grade. And today I want to share with you some resources to help you bring teaching morphology to your classroom in an easy and simple way. I love this first resource as like a teacher reference because whether you're brand new to teaching or really just digging into the science of reading, training, and becoming proficient, there's a lot of words defined here for you in a very simple way. I refer to this all the time, and it has made teaching morphology so clear and simple and easy. So first, it starts off by defining what a morpheme is. And then it is prefixes, base, and suffixes. And what I like most about this resource is that there's over 100 prefixes and many suffixes. And it was becoming really overwhelming to think about how can I teach my kid what every prefix means and what every suffix means. And this resource broke down what prefixes are into a very simple, digestible way to understand and therefore explain to my kids. They have three meanings. They can be negative, directional, or intensifying. And there are some examples over here. And for suffixes, they can be inflectional, do a job, or derivational, which is when it changes the part of speech of the base. And again, that is such an easy way to think about every single suffix that you would add to a base word. And even for the longest time, just being honest, I always, when we were brainstorming words with the classroom, I was like, always thought of bases as having to be a full unit of meaning. So it wasn't until I did all my training that I realized that you could have a free base, which is a word that can stand on its own and has a full unit of meaning, or a bound base. So it's a word that has to be attached to another prefix, suffix, or even another base in order to have full meaning and be a full word. So this resource here, I would read all the time and just had nearby me at all times to help me solidify the vocabulary I would use with students and how to really simply introduce what these three types of morphemes were. That way we could start reasoning through words together and breaking them apart to understand their meaning. And there's a nice second page to this resource, which as you start teaching it more to your children and your students, you can have them start to fill this in as a resource for them to keep in their folder or wherever you keep their resources. From this, I wanted to make it even more digestible and easy to use, and I created an anchor chart. I need to redo this. It is well loved, but we have the definition of morphemes at the top, and the three types of prefixes with some examples, the two types of bases with examples, and the two types of suffixes with examples. So this lives on my whiteboard, and no matter what content area I'm teaching, I refer to this so much when we're trying to figure out a word's meaning by using morphemes. So this is great to throw up on your board and eventually add to the students' resource folders. In some later posts and videos, I'll show you how I incorporate this into independent work in the different content areas. From this, as a teacher, I'm always trying to figure out how to use clear, concise, simple language for the students so that they can internalize the strategy on their own and do this independently. And so I love this resource. This is the verbiage you would use with students to lead them through the work of determining what a word means. And this first page has you work through prefixes if a word has a prefix and a base. So we always start by identifying and boxing prefixes and then Thinking about its meaning. Is it negative, directional, or intensifying? And then look at the base to determine the meaning of the base word. And then connect those two meanings to create a definition for the word. So in your class, when you have a word, you used to tell the class, box and identify the prefix and underline the base word. What is the meaning of the prefix? Negative, directional, or intensifying? What is the meaning of the base word? What is the definition of the word? And they put it all together. And there's a little graphic organizer here that you can start to incorporate into your class. Same metacognitive strategy with suffixes. So you box your suffix, underline your base word. Think about the meaning or job of the suffix. Is it changing the word's part of speech, or is it adding meaning? Think about the meaning of the base word. What's the definition? And again, there is a graphic organizer to use with your students. And again, you can then combine those if you have a word that has prefixes and suffixes. Again, it's the same 4 steps, which is lovely. So this resource, I found if you use this language with students, it takes about 10-ish times, if you're using it pretty consistently, where they really start to be able to talk themselves through this process to unlock the meaning of words. So I hope you enjoyed this resource. I hope you find them really clear and simple to use. Thank you for listening.